Hello everyone, welcome to the information session for the Technology and Finance Immersion Programme, or TFIP for short. Let's just give a minute or two for more attendees to sign in. Thank you. Hello everyone, thank you for your patience. We are still expecting a number of people to be signing in. Just please hold on for a while. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting the session shortly. Please ensure that you're able to hear the audio before we begin. This session will be recorded and uploaded to our website. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the information session for the Technology in Finance Immersion Programme, or TFIP for short. Before we begin the sharing, please sit back and enjoy a short video presentation.
After 10 years in IT support, I felt the need to get out of my comfort zone and find new career opportunities that are more rewarding and challenging.
I was a video editor for 13 years in the film and media industry. How did I end up becoming a coder? In 2020, I saw a video of a Japanese woman in her 80s coding, and that really inspired me to pick up coding too.
My previous job was at an industrial engineering firm. With the unprecedented rise of artificial intelligence technologies in recent years, I became increasingly keen on a career pivot into AI and machine learning roles.
As a husband and a father of two, the idea of undergoing a mid-career switch was very daunting. But at the same time, this was a unique opportunity to start a career in technology in the financial sector, which I couldn't ignore. So I took a chance and went ahead to apply for the TFIP's cybersecurity training area.
I learned about TFIP through social media and IBF's emails. For me, this was the perfect program to transform my passion for coding into a career. And I applied for TFIP's software engineering track.
The prospects of picking up professional skills in AI while finding career opportunities within the financial sector at the same time got me very excited to join TFIP in the artificial intelligence training area.
The structured training I received through TFIP gave me the foundational skills I needed for a career in cybersecurity.
TFIP was one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that transformed my career. The program helped me acquire in-demand skills in software engineering with an on-the-job training that allowed me to apply and hone my skills in a real-world environment.
TFIP was just the program I needed for my career move into AI. I got to pick up job-ready skills in AI, learn how AI is adopted by banks to improve business processes and customer value, and I gained immensely valuable work experience at this role.
I will recommend TFIP to anyone looking for better career opportunities in technology and within the financial sector.
For those who have a strong interest in pursuing a tech career but lack the background or experience, TFIP could be a great program for you.
If you want to make a career switch into in-demand tech roles, you've got to check out TFIP.
Hello everyone, hope you enjoyed the launch video for TFIP 2023. As you have seen from the video, application for TFIP 2023 is open and the closing date is 23rd July 2023. My name is Yongshen from IBF. Allow me to run through the agenda for today. There are 3 segments for today's session. The first will cover information on TFIP. The second segment is a sharing by past TFIP trainees, and the last segment will be a Q&A. The first segment will cover TFIP's program overview and objectives, the eligibility criteria, program parameters, some key information that applicants should take note, the program journey, and the next steps for application. Do stay on after the first segment to hear from past TFIP trainees and have your questions answered. Please feel free to type your questions in the Q&A box during the session. TFIP is an attach and train program. It is designed to provide mid-career individuals without the relevant technology experience the opportunity to gain access to technology jobs that are in demand within the financial services sector. Trainees will be put through industry-curated structured training with our partner training providers. Upon completion of structured training, trainees will be attached to leading financial institutions to gain industry experience. To date, we have 34 financial institutions looking to host trainees across 8 technology areas. The 8 areas are Agile IT project management, artificial intelligence, business analysis, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analytics, software engineering, and technology, information, and cybersecurity risk. The partner agencies that support us in this program are Workforce Singapore, Skills Future Singapore, Infocom Media Development Authority, and Monetary Authority of Singapore. IBF is the program manager administering and implementing the program. To qualify for TFIP, applicants must meet the following criteria. Applicants must be Singapore citizens or permanent residents. Applicants must have either graduated from school or completed national service for at least 2 years, whichever is later. In short, male applicants will need to complete their full-time national service, if any, before applying. Applicants must not have any prior working experience in any of the 8 training areas. Applicants who had previously participated in other government programs will only be eligible if you had completed all outstanding obligations of that program as of TFIP's application closing date. Applicants must also be able to commit to the full-time structured training and attachment to a hosting financial institution. Lastly, do take note of the last 3 criteria regarding applicants' relationship to the hosting financial institution. Next, I will talk about the program parameters. The program is conducted full-time over 18 months for the artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, software engineering, data analytics, and technology, information, and cybersecurity risk training areas. The remaining areas in business analysis and Agile IT project management are conducted over 12 months. Do know that this is a full-time training program, and hence, should you be offered a training place, you are required to resign from your existing employment, if any, and serve out your notice period before training commences. The training phases are conducted sequentially. Once the trainees successfully complete the structured training, which ranges between 3 and 6 months, they will be deployed to their hosting financial institutions for the remainder of the 12 or 18 months for on-the-job training, or OJT in short. For the duration of OJT, a mentor will be assigned to the trainee to provide guidance and advice. To ensure that trainees undertake meaningful assignments and projects with the hosting financial institutions, an OJT checklist, which spells out the competencies that trainees must acquire by the end of the program, will be made available to trainees and mentors. This will provide a guide for hosting financial institutions to structure their OJT for trainees and for trainees to take ownership of their training progress. During the program, trainees will receive $5,500 per month as training allowance for the areas of artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity, software engineering, data analytics, and the technology, information, and cybersecurity risk areas. For business analysis and agile IT project management, the training allowance will be $4,500 per month. Next, I will bring you through some key information about the program. TFIP is a full-time program where trainees will attend industry-curated structured training, followed by OJT attachment at a hosting financial institution. As it is an attachment, there is no employer-employee relationship between hosting financial institutions and their trainees, even though hosting financial institutions and their trainees are bounded by a trainee agreement or company agreement. Throughout the program, trainees will receive monthly training allowance of $5,500 or $4,500 depending on the training area. The training allowance will not be eligible for any CPF contribution. The training allowance is also not taxable as the primary objective of the program is to provide training for individuals and not made in return for services performed by the individual. Trainees will be entitled to 21 days of annual leave and 30 days of medical leave during the program period for training areas with 12-month program duration. For training areas with 18-month program duration, trainees will be entitled to 31.5 days of annual leave and 45 days of medical leave during the program period. Next, do note that there is no obligation for the hosting financial institution to guarantee trainees conversions to permanent roles at the end of the program. Conversion to a permanent role depends on many factors, including a trainee's performance during the OJT. However, we expect that the 1 to 1.5 years of structured training and industry experience with the hosting financial institution will put trainees in a good position to find employment. Trainees may withdraw from the program by giving 1 month written notice with valid reasons to IBF and the hosting financial institution. Again, TFIP is a full-time program and applicants are expected to commit fully to the structured training and attachment with the financial institutions. The structured training and OJT costs are co-funded by the financial institution and government. If the trainee fails to successfully complete or fulfill the structured training requirements, IBF and or the financial institution may decide that the trainee is liable for the cost of the entire structured training or the uncompleted modules. Moving forward, here are the program milestones that applicants should take note. The online applications for TFIP is already open from 14 June and will close on 23rd July. Please ensure that you submit your online applications before the deadline. Applicants will undergo up to 3 levels of screening. They will need to pass 1 level before moving on to the next. The first level will be done by IBF to ensure that applicants meet all the eligibility criteria. Eligible applicants will have to complete aptitude assessments administered by the respective training providers. The aptitude assessment aims to assess the technical aptitude of applicants to ensure that they can cope with the rigors of the training program. Once applicants pass the aptitude assessment, they will be forwarded to participating financial institutions. Financial institutions will review, shortlist, and contact suitable applicants for interviews between August and October. Successful applicants will be informed of the outcomes from October onwards. Applicants who receive offers will be required to accept the offers, and IBF will finalize offers and facilitate a formal signing of offers between trainees and financial institutions and between trainees and IBF. Structured training is targeted to commence on 1st January 2024, where trainees will join the respective training providers for structured training before joining the financial institutions. During the OJT, IBF will continue to conduct regular check-ins to ensure that any concerns of the trainees are addressed. The last part of this first segment is on the next steps to submit applications for the program. There are 8 training areas for this intake of TFIP. Applicants who are interested in more than one training area can submit applications indicating up to 2 training areas that they are interested in. Applications for each training area will be evaluated independently. Applicants can indicate our top 3 preferred participating financial institutions, but IBF will share eligible applicants with all participating financial institutions. Interviews are likely to commence in August 2023, and shortlisted applicants will be notified after passing the aptitude assessment. If an applicant receives more than one training area, he or she can decide which offer to accept. An applicant can only be enrolled into one training area with one hosting financial institution. I've now come to the end of the first segment. For the next segment, we have invited 2 TFIP alumni from the 2021 cohort to share their experiences. My colleague Manwai will facilitate the sharing. In the meantime, do feel free to post your questions on the Q&A box. Manwai, please.
Thank you, Yongsen. Good afternoon. My name is Manwai from IBF. So Yongsen had presented the objectives and the structure of the program. The trainees who had embarked or completed it came from different backgrounds and life stages, each having their own unique stories and experience to share. We are glad to have 2 of the trainees today to share their stories. Without further ado, let's welcome Wenjie and Kenneth.
Hello.
Hi. Maybe I can start off my introduction first.
Yes.
So for me, my background is in accountancy, and I've had varied work experience across industry in both the public and private sector. So the role that I had before the TFIP program was in data strategy, governance, change management, and data culture building. So currently, I'm with the Standard Chartered Bank as a country information and cybersecurity risk analyst with the Singapore CISO team. I look after the security risk posture of Singapore within the bank by ensuring that cybersecurity risks are proactively managed and effectively controlled with mitigating and remediation measures that's in line with the bank's policy as well as regulatory requirements. I'm from the TFIP 2021 cybersecurity track.
Thank you, Wenjie. And Kenneth?
Yeah, so hello everybody. I'm glad to be here. So I'm from the 2021 cloud computing batch, and my previous role is actually I was an engineer in the aviation industry, where my day-to-day is really mainly overseeing production issues that happens within the plant. So now after TFIP, I am now a cloud engineer in UOB. My day-to-day role mainly is troubleshooting of bank applications that are hosted on the cloud, manage the bank's cloud infrastructure through code, develop solutions to design that meet the design requirements, explore new services and ways to help improve efficiency and drive cost optimization, as well as FinOps in cloud now.
Okay, so Kenneth, what motivated you to make the switch into a tech role in the financial sector and choosing TFIP?
Okay, so why I wanted to make the switch was I always had a passion in automation and making my mundane tasks work easier by leveraging technology. So there was an opportunity for growth where I can learn something new and perhaps look for a new career path through TFIP. So I wanted to explore cloud computing more, as back then my knowledge was extremely limited to your normal cloud storages like Dropbox and stuff like that. So why TFIP? So I was introduced to TFIP by my friend who was in the 2020 batch, and it really got me curious about it. And I can remember myself 2 years ago in the same shoes listening to the info sharing session as well. So I think TFIP is really a unique opportunity where there isn't many places out there that allows you to be trained by industry professionals and then have OJT that you can apply yourself immediately.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Kenneth. And what about you, Wenjie?
For myself, I've always been interested in the cybersecurity field and transiting into the tech industry. However, as someone who had no background in technology at all. So it certainly felt like the barriers to entry was very high, especially I think many of us also in the audience right now already have established careers. However, the thought never did die to me, and by fate, 2 years ago, when I was scrolling through my Facebook, the IVF TFIP advertisement suddenly pop up. So, I mean, I guess it's fate lah. So, the reason why I actually applied for TFIP, I guess there's mainly 3 reasons. So firstly, because of my interest in the field. And then secondly, also because the program actually offers the structured training that has been carefully curated for us. And also we are given exam voucher for several industry certifications, which are very useful for us in this career path. And also third, because of the subsequent attachment to the financial institute, which enables us to apply what we have learned during this the structured training period, as well as to further learn during the job how it's like in the field. Yeah.
Yes, that's quite fascinating, like on how your personal interest and passion for bigger things, has become it has turn you into this opportunity. Yeah. So Wenjie, maybe tell us more about your experience having gone through the structured training and the OJT.
The structured training actually comprises of not only theory, but also quite a lot of interactive hands-on exercises that were able to equip us with industry insights and also technical skills to prepare ourselves for the road ahead. So, but however, for me, the journey was quite tough at first because I had no background. And also I recall my first course was CompTIA A+, and then I was still suffering from the aftermath of COVID-19. So I was sitting in class feeling exhausted while trying to figure out how to differentiate between the different cables, how to dismantle a laptop. So at that point in time, frankly, I did doubt my decision. However, of course, I persevered through the course and many others afterwards. And though it was slightly tough at first, as long as you put in the effort to pay attention during lesson and as well as to continue practicing and studying after class, even over the weekends, because I needed that. So it will be fine. So in essence, if you don't really have the skills at that point in time, put in enough effort and study, and it'll be fine.
Yes. That's some of the challenges that come along, making a change. What about your OJT experience? How was that like?
My OJT experience, I would say that I was very, very, very fortunate because my mentors, they gave me a lot of invaluable support and guidance throughout the whole journey. So from day one, I remember our course ended on Wednesday. So on Thursday, we went to report to our FI already. So from day one, I was actually entrusted with real world responsibilities, which allowed me to, of course, apply what I learned during the training period. And for those that they are relatively newer to me, my mentors, they actually guided me through. So they not only shared their knowledge and expertise, but they also invested their time and effort into nurturing my growth. So I was very fortunate that my mentors, they are very patient and willing to answer my questions, and they also had a genuine interest in my development so far, which helped me to shape into a more competent cybersecurity professional. So of course, I'm very happy to say that I'm still with my team as of now.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Wenjie. How about you, Kenneth? What was your experience like?
Okay, so for me, structured training to me was really fun. Literally, you feel like you are back as a student with very little worries, other than exams, really. So plus, there was really good snacks provided during the training by the training provider during my training. So so to top it off as well, I made new friends who are really helpful and willing to share knowledge and troubleshoot each other's problems during the course. So, but on a more serious note, really, the structured training was really quite rigorous, as you are going through a crash course of 3 months to be introduced to a whole new world. But then the good thing was that the teachers and lecturers were really, really experienced. They were professionals from the real world, and they imparted to us a lot of valuable knowledge, insights on how things are being implemented as well. So at the end of the day, it's hard for structured training to replicate everything that you would face in a real job. But I would say that the training do help you equip you to enough to with a foundation to tread water. Yeah. So for the OJT itself, it really allowed me to get a sense of what I like to do and what I'm good at. And I was very fortunate that my managers and seniors were very supportive of me and allowed me a free hand to explore, ask, and suggest solutions. So a fun fact was that my team is majority is from TFIP. So yeah, so they understand the pains and the experience that is going through TFIP as well. So as a trainee, I was granted a lot of opportunities, including attending workshops, seminars, training, summit events by AWS and Google, which really helped open my eyes to the world of cloud and opportunities and potential of it. Yeah.
Right. Just now, Wenjie had shared some of her challenges that she had faced along the way. What about you, Kenneth?
Okay, so for challenges, I'll say the two main challenges that I faced was firstly, rapid change in the technology world. So changes are the norm, not an exception really, especially in tech. So just looking at AWS, they have hundreds of new developments a month, and you can really subscribe to their RSS feed and they'll just spam you with emails. Yeah, and it's honestly quite hard to keep up, but you can do what you can only do your best and then read those that, at least for me, I read those that I feel that are impactful or interesting for me or my team to know. It also helped that my team are also very passionate individuals who would actually read up and also share new and interesting things with us. So this helps with knowledge building and transfer. Then the second challenge that I faced that hits a little bit closer to home was burnt out. So nearing the end of TFIP journey, I did really feel a little bit burnt out because I was rushing certifications, like 3 certifications in the last 6 months kind of thing. So I think being interested and wanting to learn more is good, but at the same time, when you are looking at the same thing during work and then starting the exact same thing again after work, then it really becomes quite taxing, especially for me. So I think to overcome it, it took a little bit of a mindset shift to take a breather, allow myself to relax and refocus again. It's more of don't try to force something that in the long run may kill off the interest. And it also helped that my team was very supportive in a sense whereby they allowed me, telling me to, yeah, don't worry about it, take it easy, really. And then, yeah, it was really good.
Okay, that's great. So it's true that resilience is really key, yeah, to weather the adversities that you face along the way. So all these sounded like you've gone through quite a journey, but surely you have found some parts to be fulfilling. Wenjie, would you like to share?
I think apart from meeting good mentors and a good team, as well as many other colleagues from different teams which are very supportive as well, I think one of the main takeaways was I was able to meet my classmates who were really very supportive and helpful throughout the training, and a wonderful bunch of people. And then we really did encourage each other in this learning journey. So as Kenneth mentioned just now, there's quite a lot of certificates, and I think IVF does give us a few exam vouchers as well. So what we did was actually during the training period, we did study very hard, and some of us actually managed to take the exams during the training period. So I think this year it might overlap with the New Year, Chinese New Year break as well. So I recall last year during my Chinese New Year break, I spent every minute studying for Security Plus. Yeah, it was a very interesting piece of memory. Yeah, so I think the entire journey was and is quite memorable to me, and it's definitely quite an interesting part of my life, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Kenneth?
Okay, so some of the most fulfilling parts of my journey was learning new things, really, taking up certification course to deepen my understanding. And when something that I learned can be applied to my current work, it really gives me a sense of satisfaction, like at least whatever I study is useful, right? Yeah, and I can apply it. And then next one was solving issues. So as an engineer, by training and at heart, sometimes when you're stuck at certain issues and at work, and then suddenly you are able to troubleshoot it, get an epiphany, and then come up with a solution to solve it, that really is very fulfilling. Yeah. And lastly is the real world impact. Seeing things that I develop or code used in a way that will be the cornerstone of the bank's future's direction, it's really something to be proud of, that I think that it will be a memory that I'll keep on forever.
That's great, Kenneth. So now, actually, before I let you go, yeah. So, is there any words of encouragement to potential applicants? Maybe we'll let Wenjie go first.
I would say that whether you have or you don't have any experience in the field at all, if you're interested and you're passionate, do apply for it. And then I think the last bit of advice I would give is to be really focused in your goal, to always be curious and hungry for knowledge, as well as be proactive, especially during your OJT. That's all that I want to say.
Thanks, Wenjie. Kenneth?
For me, to add on to what Wenjie said, I've got three pieces of words of encouragement, I guess. So firstly is ask questions. It's just keep asking. Even if you don't understand, you have to ask until you get it. Yeah. So that's very key in learning. Next is like what Mamwai has mentioned, resilience. Resiliency is really key as well in this journey, whereby you may end up doing things that part of your job scope may not always be what you learn. So you need to be able to have the right mentality to approach it and make the best out of it. And then which brings to my last point, which is mentality. My mentality going into this was really to become a sponge, a knowledge sponge during the 1.5 years, and really try to make the best out of this opportunity, such that at the end of the program, I will be in a better place to find a role that I would like, whether or not it's with my team or not. But I'm glad to say that I stayed on with my team. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was wonderful sharing, Wenjie and Kenneth. Thank you so much for your sharing with us this afternoon. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the session, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck. All the best.
So a career transition is both exciting and daunting. So with the right training and support this transition can be made smoother. So we hope that we can partner you in this journey and let TFIP be a part of your unique story to share someday too. Thank you. So let's proceed with the Q&A segment.
Yeah. Thanks, Manwai. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for all the questions that you have posted in the Q&A section. We've gone through them quickly. Unfortunately, there are too many for us to respond, to type out answers for, but we thought that it would be useful for us to pick out some of the common questions and try to address them here. So I think, first of all, a lot of you were asking about whether this session will be shared, whether the deck of slides will be shared. We have recorded this session, and we'll be uploading this onto our website after this. Right, so you can access it, or if you've got friends who missed the session, you can also direct them to our website to view the recording. All right, another very common question, I think there were questions around the structured training, whether it's part of the 12 or 18 months duration of the program. Just to clarify, yes, it is. It is actually the first 3 or 6 months, right? 3 to 6 months of the entire 12-18 months duration of the program. Okay, and in terms of the training providers, it's not available on our website currently, but we've actually key training providers such as SMU Academy, NUS ISS, Bridging Minds, DigiPen, BCG, they're all and General Assembly. So all these are our training providers, and details as to which tracks they will be offering trainings for will also be available on our website soon. Okay, and the training providers, just to also clarify, they will be based on the tracks that you apply for, and also the financial institution's choice of training providers for the tracks that they're participating in. So depending on which financial institutions you eventually end up with, the training providers will then correspond accordingly. Okay. All right, there are also questions around Let me see. Whether you are paid during the structured training duration, right? So yes, the training allowance, which we shared earlier, 4,500 and 5,500 per month for the 12 or 18 months, include the duration of the structured training. All right. I think some of you were concerned about whether if you are in your 50s or 60s, there's actually no age limit in terms of the program. As long as you are considered a mid-career individuals. And based on definition, it's as long as you've graduated from school for at least 2 years or completed NS. So you will qualify and you can actually apply for the program. As to whether there are any prerequisites in terms of educational background, no. So polygrads are also welcome to apply, and there isn't a qualification. We've actually recently removed the requirement for STEM qualification this year as well. So we will actually assess you through the aptitude test that's conducted on all eligible applicants to determine if you have got the potential to succeed in the program. Okay, so that will be done through the aptitude test. Yeah, and I think in terms of choice of FIs, I think there was also a question around whether the order in which you indicate the FIs in your application form, does that affect your chances? The answer is no. So in fact, all your applications will be shared with all the participating financial institutions. Your indication of your preferred FIs will only provide as an information for the FIs to sort of prioritize in the event that they have too many candidates to choose from. They may focus on those who have selected them as first priority, but that is an option for them. But there is no bearing on whether the choices will affect your chances with other FIs or with the rest of the participating financial institutions. So do not have to worry about that. Okay. Yeah, and let me see if there are any more questions that we can address. Okay, I think there were also questions around whether prior experience, right, in any of the 8 tracks, what does that mean? Okay, so if assuming you are from an example was if you're coming from a software development company, but you're not performing software engineering, that's fine. Okay, that's not considered prior experience. So we really look at the job that you're holding, the job role that you're performing. If the job role is relevant or related or directly related to any of the 8 tracks, then unfortunately you can't qualify for this, because this is intended to be a career conversion program, meaning we're trying to reskill someone without the relevant experience into these in-demand tech roles. Okay, so I hope that helps to clarify. Yeah, I think a lot of you are also very interested to know what is the successful, conversion rates. We've run this program since 2019. So this is our 5th year running the program. The first 2 years has completed, the first 2 cohorts has actually completed, actually the first 3 cohorts has completed the program. We are still compiling the emplacement rates for the final year, the 2021 batch. But for 2019 and 2020, we are pleased to share that around 80% of them have been emplaced with either the hosting company or in a related tech area with other companies. Okay, so I think that's the emplacement record that we have seen. But as the trainees Wenjie and Kenneth shared earlier, this is a very rigorous program. So I just wanted to also manage expectations. The structured training is a time when you will be required to put in effort to ensure that you get up to speed with the foundational knowledge and skills before you are deployed to the financial institutions for on-the-job training. And so therefore, I think questions around whether you can do this on a part-time basis and while you're taking on another role, that's not encouraged, because this program really requires you to put in a full-time effort and commitment to be able to complete successfully. All right. Okay, and just to see if I have any more last questions. Right, I think that some of you who are also concerned about whether there's penalty if you withdraw from the program. Based on our terms of the program, you need to provide a 1-month notice and reasons for withdrawal, and we will have to prorate the training allowance accordingly based on the days that you've completed the program. And depending on the financial institutions that you are attached to, they may also impose a penalty or clawback because they are actually co-funding and co-investing in helping you to reskill into these roles, right? So this will be indicated in the trainee agreement subsequently. Okay, there's a question around whether you can take leave during the structured training phase. As I mentioned earlier, this is a very rigorous program, so we strongly discourage you from taking leave. And training providers have got attendance requirements, so you do need to meet their attendance requirements. So if your leave is for a prolonged period of for traveling and all that, we will not encourage you to do that. And this year we have actually taken in feedback from previous years. We know that December is not a good time to start structured training. So for this TFIP 2023, we will be starting structured training from January 2024. So hopefully this gives you a bit of a sense of the timelines. And if you're planning anything in January to say June next year, it's best to avoid. Yeah. But otherwise, the leave, 21 days of annual leave, 30 days of medical leave, that will still apply throughout the 12 or 18 months of the program. Okay. Right. Someone asked about where you can find the detailed skills that you can acquire. We take very close reference from the skills framework for the Infocom sector. So you can actually search for the skills framework and look for the relevant roles. We will use that as a blueprint for us to conduct the structured training as well as the on-the-job training. Okay. All right. I think that is about all that the common questions that we have. I know there are many more questions. We unfortunately, in the interest of time, we may not be able to address all of them, but we will actually keep a copy of all your questions and update our Q&A and to reflect some of your common questions. All right. Let me just see if there are any more last questions that I should address. I think some of you are also asking how many successful applicants, right? This one will depend, I think, depending on how the interviews and the selection process goes. But I can just say that the demand from the financial institutions for this year is also still relatively strong. So we do have a demand for all the roles, all the 8 tracks that we have put up for TFIP 2023. Okay. Yeah, so I think I've covered most, if not all, of the common questions. Thank you once again for all the questions and for joining us this afternoon. Mindful that it's also lunchtime for some of you. So yeah, look out for any updates on our FAQ on our website. And if you have any burning questions that's not addressed, feel free to reach out to us. We'll try to answer them. With regards to specific questions on whether you are eligible and all that, I think maybe you can just apply first because we have to review the applications case by case. So thank you once again for joining us, and thanks to Kenneth, Wen-Jie, for sharing your experiences. I'm sure the audience benefited from your very inspiring sharing. All right, so with that, thank you so much, Man-Wai. Before we close, maybe we thought we will just want to play the video of TFIP 2023 launch again, just for the benefit of those of you who didn't manage to join us from the start. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Man-Wai?
After 10 years in IT support, I felt the need to get out of my comfort zone and find new career opportunities that are more rewarding and challenging.
I was a video editor for 13 years in the film and media industry. How did I end up becoming a coder? In 2020, I saw a video of a Japanese woman in her 80s coding, and that really inspired me to pick up coding too.
My previous job was at an industrial engineering firm. With the unprecedented rise of artificial intelligence technologies in recent years, I became increasingly keen on a career pivot into AI and machine learning roles.
As a husband and a father of 2, the idea of undergoing a mid-career switch was very daunting. But at the same time, this was a unique opportunity to start a career in technology in the financial sector, which I couldn't ignore. So I took a chance and went ahead to apply for the TFIP's cybersecurity training area.
I learned about TFIP through social media and IBF's emails. For me, this was the perfect program to transform my passion for coding into a career. And I applied for TFIP's software engineering track.
The prospects of picking up professional skills in AI while finding career opportunities within the financial sector at the same time got me very excited to join TFIP in the artificial intelligence training area.
The structured training I received through TFIP gave me the foundational skills I needed for a career in cybersecurity.
TFIP was one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that transformed my career. The program helped me acquire in-demand skills in software engineering with an on-the-job training that allowed me to apply and hone my skills in a real-world environment.
TFIP was just the program I needed for my career move into AI. I got to pick up job-ready skills in AI, learn how AI is adopted by banks to improve business processes and customer value, and I gained immensely valuable work experience at this role.
I would recommend TFIP to anyone looking for better career opportunities in technology and within the financial sector.
For those who have a strong interest in pursuing a tech career but lack the background or experience, TFIP could be a great program for you.
If you want to make a career switch into in-demand tech roles, you've got to check out TFIP.
Okay, thank you. So with that, we've come to the end of our session, info sharing session. Thank you for joining us once again, and we look forward to receiving your applications. Remember, the deadline is 23rd of July this year. Okay, thank you.